So this is the review of a 9-inch Android head unit for the 10th generation Honda Civic. This was around $300 on eBay with shipping. It was actually like $325. The price was $250 plus $75 shipping from China. And there are a few manufacturers out there that are making these head units in China. There are different models, so I'm not sure what the brand name for this one is. I think it was Unusual Ways or something really weird. But there's another one called Phoenix, and that one seems to be more popular. And if you look at any reviews on that head unit, you'll notice that it has a glossy border on the sides, whereas my unit, it kind of has that matte finish, which actually matches perfectly with the AC unit down here. So it flows really nicely. But the Phoenix one has a shiny black, which kind of matches the buttons down here. And the other thing with the Phoenix head unit is it actually is higher than this. It goes up to about the level of the vent handle on your AC vents or air vents, and it covers half the hazard button. That's one of the reasons I went with this unit instead of that one. They're actually pretty much identical in terms of function, but this one is a little shorter and has the same screen size. It also has the reset and mic button down here, whereas the Phoenix one has the mic and the reset button up here, which that's the reason that unit's taller. So I think this one's a better fit as far as fitting in the vehicle and not blocking the air conditioning. It also flows very nicely. I mean, if you got in this car and you weren't another 10th gen Civic owner, I don't think you would be able to tell that this is an aftermarket unit just by looking at it. It just looks like it belongs in the car. So anyway, let's get into how the unit works. Turn on the car here. Turn off some of the lighting. Okay. Alright, so you see that took about 5 seconds to turn on. From a cold boot, it takes about 15 to 20 seconds. So if you're turning on the unit after it has completely shut off, it takes about 15-20 seconds. In the settings though, you can actually change it to go to sleep for 1 hour. That way when you turn on the car, if you're running into the store real quick, you want to come out and you don't want to have to reset the whole unit, it'll boot up fast like this. So it does kind of suck from the cold boot that it has 15 to 20 seconds depending on how many apps you left running whenever it shut off. However, as soon as you turn on the car, if you put your car in reverse, it'll go to the rear view camera still, even if the unit hasn't booted up. So I mean, it's kind of nice. So if you're trying to back out of a spot and you're waiting on you don't have to wait for the head unit to actually fully boot. You can just turn on the car, go in reverse, and I'll actually show you what that looks like right now. So you can see, just touch the screen here, it comes up with all the angles that are on the base model Civic. They're exactly the same. You also have the backup roller, I think it's called. And one thing that this device has that the OEM head unit doesn't have is it has turning, I forget what it's called, trajectory lines, that's what it's called. You can turn that on in the settings, and that's really nice because it kind of shows where your car's turning, which that wasn't that's not in the OEM head unit, at least not for the base model Civic. And let's be honest, if you're upgrading or looking at a unit like this, most likely you're coming from the American LX model coupe or sedan. This is the coupe right now that I'm driving. But that head unit, I mean, it played music fine. You could stream music, and it had the rear view camera and stuff, but it wasn't enough for me. I mean, it might have been enough for you, but really I wanted something more, more customization, more function, GPS, all that stuff. So speaking of that, let's get started on the function of the unit. I showed you the rear view camera. It works really well. You also have the steering wheel controls. Turn on the light there so you can see. These all function with this unit. Oh, and that's another thing. You can, as soon as you turn on the headlights, the screen dims, which is really nice. I mean, that way you don't have to go in the settings, go to the brightness, and turn it down manually every time you're driving at night. And it also turns on these panel buttons whenever you turn on the headlights. You can actually change that in the settings. You can change all this in the settings. If you want maximum brightness no matter what time of the day, you can change that. You can also change the panel buttons to be on all the time. Okay, so the steering wheel controls, they do work. There's actually an app on here to map them. So it's steering wheel control app. You just hit start. You hit the function, so volume up. Hit volume up on the control, and it turned gray, which means that it mapped. So then you hit end, and now when I hit up, you see the volume changes. And the cool thing about this is you can literally map anything to the steering wheel controls. If you hit reserve here, it's like a slot, and you can pick, if you want to pick an app that it starts, if you want to go to the music app, video, photos, you can do whatever you want with the steering wheel controls, which is really nice. I mean, a lot of head units are like a dumbed down version of Android, and the manufacturers claim it's for safety, and if you have a full Android tablet, it's very distracting, which is what this is. But being that you can map these steering wheel controls, I think it makes it a lot safer. You can design it to do what you want to do when you're driving, and not have to fuss around with the screen too much. Okay, so I use my button I mapped to go home. And let's see what else. Let's talk about hardware. So it comes with 2 USB cords that you plug into the back. One of them goes to the OEM outlet down here. You can plug your phone or whatever into that. The other one goes into the glove box here. So as you can see, I have a 1 terabyte external hard drive plugged in there. Lots of music and videos. And I also have the GPS antenna. This unit comes with a built-in GPS. You can use any app with the GPS antenna. So you can use Google Maps, you can use Waze, you can use the app that comes with it, which I'll show you actually right now. It's called iGo, and it seems to come with all the Chinese-based units. But it's actually very responsive. It loads very fast, and it's pretty accurate. I mean, you can set in, let's see, you go to menu, destination, you put in your address. Personally, I use Google Maps. I actually mapped the navigation button, so I'll show you in the settings. You can choose what your default navigation app is.
Yes, signal lost.
Navi application, so that's navigation application. I have mine set to maps, and that way if you map a steering wheel control to go to the GPS, it'll go to whatever app you set there. Alright, so that's for GPS. The radio, I'll show you that. Yeah, don't want any copyright issues, but there's a little slider up here. You pick whatever station, you tap and hold, and it'll map that station to the button. And there's a lot of buttons. It's a very nice radio app. I'm glad that, I think they did a good job with that. The other thing is that's just the app button. So the Bluetooth, if you hit Bluetooth, and you can see here, so I actually mapped a phone button. So when I hit the phone button, I mapped it to answer. It actually goes right to this, so you can dial. Shows you missed calls. I don't have any right now, so I've only had this device for about a week. And you can actually play music through your Bluetooth through this app. It's very cool. The Bluetooth music quality on this head unit is it's good. I mean, personally, I don't use Bluetooth ever to listen to music, even on the old LX head unit, because there is always a loss of quality whenever you're using Bluetooth. It's not there yet where it sounds just as good as playing the actual file. So what I do is I play through my hard drive. But if you want to play through Bluetooth, this works. And I got to tell you, I'm using an iPhone right now. I was a little worried that this device, since it's Android based, I was worried that it wouldn't work with Apple products, but everything works seamlessly. The only thing I haven't been able to get to work is the push to talk, so to use voice to call people while you're driving. And I'm guessing that it's just a compatibility issue, with Apple products and the Android. There might be a way around that. I mean, there probably is, but I just haven't figured it out yet. And that's to connect different devices, so you can have multiple connected. Okay. Alright, so that's the Bluetooth. I'll show you the default music app, and it's pretty boring. This is one of the first things I changed immediately. It's nice that it comes with a music app, and it sounds fine. And you can select USB. It shows you so this is my hard drive, and then you can create playlists, but it's just not user friendly. So I actually use an app called Power Amp, and I put a widget down here. So this is Power Amp. I tried a few music apps from the Play Store to work with this device, and a lot of Android music apps, for some reason, they just have issues connecting to external hard drives. But Power Amp is like perfect. I mean, it found all the music on this device, all the music on the hard drive, and it sorted everything. And as soon as it has a Wi-Fi signal, that's the other thing, this unit does have Wi-Fi, and I'm not at my house right now. I'm also not tethering at the moment, so it doesn't have a signal right now, but it'll automatically download all the album art, all the information. I think you can download the lyrics too, and it's really nice, and it's very snappy. And it works with the steering wheel controls as well for playing next, pausing, playing, all that stuff. And yeah, it's really user friendly. So that's the app that I use. Let's see. Alright, so let's go into the settings. It comes with an equalizer, since we're talking about music right now. And it does a good job. Personally, I use my own equalizer on the Power Amp app. It has more customization, but even this is more. I mean, if you're coming from an LX, this is more than you could change on there. And the sound quality of coming through this, I have the same speakers as before when I had the LX bass unit, and the sound quality is at least as good as the LX. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, it's amazing. I've seen a couple reviews on YouTube of this, or the Phoenix one, and they just claim that it was so much better than the bass unit. I mean, really, it's good. It's at least as good as the bass unit, but it's not amazing. I mean, I would still, if you're an audiophile, I would still invest in new speakers. But it does a good job. And also, while we're talking about sound quality, I'll show you the cable it comes with. If you want to hook up your own speakers and a subwoofer, it comes with the cables to do that. It actually says subwoofer on this one right here. It plugs right into the back of the device, and I'll go more into this when I do my installation video. But it's nice that they offer this. So it also comes with the connection for the lane view camera. So if you have a higher trim, or you want to add a lane view camera, which I think is kind of useless in my opinion, but to each their own, you can mount that and plug it in the back of this, and when you use the right turn signal, it'll come up. Now for me, I already deactivated it in the settings, because that's one of the main things you're going to want to change if you have an LX and you buy this head unit. When you use the right turn signal, it'll blank out the screen, turn off the music, and say no connection detected, because they set it up so that it's compatible with all trims. So make sure you go in the settings, and when we go to the settings, I'll show you how to fix that. And also when you go in reverse, it mutes the music, so you have to change that in the settings as well. But we'll get into that. Let's see. So, another thing it comes with, which is, this is on the higher trims, but it's kind of nice because now you can have it on the LX. When you turn on the air conditioning, it comes up with this neat on-screen app. And I looked online. This is a carbon copy of the app on the Honda Entertainment System for the higher trims. You don't get it on the LX, but you do get it on the higher trims, and it's nice that they have it. So if you have a trim that's EX or above, and you have the climate control button that brings that up, this device should be compatible with your car, because I think they actually require the use of the touch screen for certain things. So it's nice that they added that. Personally, I don't use it. On the LX, all the controls you need are down here, and it has the temperature. I mean, I just think it's annoying to have an extra thing pop up on the screen, but I did turn it on for this video so I could show it. Okay. You can also use live wallpapers. So right now I have the one that comes with it. It's called Bubbles. I mean, it might decrease performance a little bit, I'm not sure, but it seems to be pretty snappy still. Here's the car settings app. So I'll just kind of scroll through these. If you want to pause the video and see, a lot of these are for higher trims. I was testing some of them out, and they're not made for the LX, so some of them are. But yeah, you can change. It's compatible with, it seems like, all the settings on the higher trim entertainment system. If you have a Wi-Fi connection, you can use Chrome. I tether my phone, and you can use YouTube. I have the YouTube app here. Browse the web. And it works really well. Really, it's based on your connection speed. So yeah. Oh, okay. So they don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but they do have this thing called Easy Connect, and it's pretty neat. You can connect Android. Oh, don't want to connect right now. You connect Android through USB or Wi-Fi. You can also connect the iPhone through Wi-Fi. It mirrors your phone. So the other thing is, you could use Google Maps on your phone if you don't want to tether to the device, or just use the GPS. You can use your phone and it'll show up on here. It'll mirror anything. So if you have photos on your phone, or you want to see your text on the screen, and I can't record that now because I'm recording with my phone. I'm gonna record with a different device. I'll kind of show what you can do with the iPhone in this Easy Play app. Okay. You have the File Explorer. Just kind of show you USB 0. That's my external hard drive. It has all my music and stuff, and it's nice. You can browse through, if you have any external hard drives you want to connect. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the iPod app doesn't. I don't know what that does. If they tried to add compatibility with the iPhone and this device, but it looks like it may work with older iPods. It's not working. I've tried it with my iPhone, but I don't use. It doesn't seem like that great of an app anyway. You're better off using a different music player. There's Google Maps. So you can use Google Maps with just the GPS. Although what I do is I tether my phone, and the Maps app works great on here. It works really well, and it has good signal with the GPS antenna. However, you can use it offline. So on the Google Maps app, you can download offline maps in a 250-mile radius. So if you just want to use the GPS antenna and drive around like your hometown, you can download the offline maps. So it's kind of nice. So you don't have to use data with the Google Maps app. That's what I'm saying. I have Pandora. That works fine. Let me just turn on my Wi-Fi. I'm gonna pause the video real quick. I'll show you some of how these internet apps work. Oh, I am connected. I'm tethering through my phone, through my iPhone, so I can kind of show you how some of these apps work. Just open a YouTube video. Here, play the Star Wars official movie trailer. And probably turn up the volume for this one.
Something truly special.
So you can see it. I mean, it works. The quality is pretty decent. You know, it's pretty snappy, so it's nice. Also show you the Google Maps app here. And I am using my data. I always tether when I use the Google Maps. And let's just go to restaurants. And you can see it's kind of lagging a little bit here. Alright, so there's all these restaurants. So you want to go to the Mi Casita. Okay, start.
Head east.
Alright, so it's navigating. It looks like I'm already at the location, so but yeah, I mean, it works. And once you get it running, it's pretty snappy now. When it was loading everything, it was a little laggy. But you know, I'm pretty impressed. For $300 and for a unit from China. And I mean, I have all these apps running right now, and it's working pretty well. Just close everything. This is like kind of clear memory.
Turn left.
Oh, it's still navigating. Okay, so what else? Let's see what we haven't looked at yet. I think I've gone through most of the apps. Oh, there's a fuel app here. And it's basically the same thing you could see on your speedometer if you cycle through the different fuel settings. It's kind of nice that they have it there. You can reset it. I don't know. It's cool. And okay, I think I already showed the steering wheel controls, how to map those. The radio. Oh, there's a recorder app. So if you get if you want a dash cam, you can connect it via USB, and it'll actually record and store on this device or on your external hard drive. You can manage that on here. I don't have one hooked up, so it cannot find camera. It backs out. But it's nice that they have that. Television, I think you can get an antenna for TV. I haven't really looked into this yet. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, so those are most of the apps. But I mean, you can download anything you want. You go to the Play Store. I haven't downloaded an app yet that doesn't work on this device. You know, so it really is. There's an endless amount of apps that you can get. It's really nice to have that flexibility. That's one of the main reasons I went with this unit over mainstream, you know, main brand unit with like a dumbed down version of Android. Alright, so let's go into the settings. I'll show you some of the things that you want to change when you first get the device. Alright, so sound and notification is the first one. You know how I said whenever you go into reverse, it mutes the music? I turn that off personally. If you want to have it on for safety reasons, that's up to you. But this is where you turn it off, the sound and notification settings. There's also the speed compensated volume control, so based on your speed. I have it turned off, but it's cool that they have it. The navigation audio channel, you can have it, you set the volume of the audio versus the volume of the music whenever the navigation voice cuts in. So it's kind of cool, instead of just shutting off the music completely. Alright, this is all like standard Android stuff there. I'm not going to run through that. Just memory, apps, storage. You can attach your Google account to this, so it'll save all your locations on Google Maps and such, and it'll connect to your YouTube account, everything. It's really nice. Alright, so down here is like the special settings that you're going to want to change. Go to car settings. This is another place you can change the steering wheel controls. I already have mine set. The navigation application. So you, I think I already showed this, but you can select any app for the navigation. That way when you map your navigation button, it'll go to that app instead of the iGo that comes with the head unit. Shutdown delay. So this is what I was talking about. From a cold boot, which I'm actually going to put on no delay, and I'm going to show you how long it takes to boot up. But you can actually delay it for up to 1 hour. Now the Phoenix device you can delay indefinitely, so it goes into sleep mode, and that's the other head unit I was talking about with the shiny borders, and it's a little taller. Now that's pretty nice, but I don't know if you left your car parked for multiple days if it would kill the battery or not. But at least you can delay it for 1 hour on this device. Okay, extra settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the password. It's universal if you buy this head unit. Okay, so resolution, just to show you, this is the resolution of the device, 1024 by 600. The panel keys, you can actually map these to whatever you want, which is pretty nice. You can change your radio region. Brake setting, so if you want to watch videos while driving, you want to put this on open. So it's kind of a weird thing on these Chinese devices. Open means on and close means off. I don't know why, but you get used to it, I guess. So this is the panel light setting. I have it set. Open means enable or disable to follow headlights. So I have it on, so it only turns on now when I turn on the headlights. That's kind of cool. They let you customize, I mean, a lot of things with this. A lot of this stuff, I mean, there's a lot. A lot of it I haven't even used yet. So disabled door, that's something I haven't showed you yet. So when you open the door, you see that little icon pops up. It also works for the trunk, and it shows each door that opens. So it's kind of neat. They didn't have that on the LX trim. At least I don't think they had it on the base model. Disable radar. I'm not sure what that means, but if you want to disable the doors popping up when they open, you can. So the reverse trajectory, so that shows where you're turning whenever you back up. It's kind of nice. And they also have the roller, that was, you know, the lines that show up when you go into reverse. HD camera, I think this is talking about if you have a dash cam, what you want the resolution to save as. Amp volume, if you want to change your audio system. You can disable the reverse video. And config info. So this is where there's some settings that are kind of hidden. You know, if you say you don't have a recorder, the air control I have on, this is where you would turn it off if you didn't want the air control. And a lot of these I'm not sure. I guess if you don't have a radio, you would hit that so it wouldn't turn on the radio. No iPod, I'm not sure what that means. But yeah. Okay, model choose. If you had this head unit, and I don't remember if it came with the right one loaded or not. When I got my unit, it took me a while to figure out how to get everything to work. So I was loading these different, this is basically like the operating system that tells it what car you have. And if you have the Phoenix head unit, which is not this one, there's one called Honda Crider, and that's the right one. But for this one, you actually want the Civic 2016. So that's what I have loaded on here. And that'll make everything work correctly. Okay. And I think that's it. Oh, and the logo. So you can select, I have the Honda logo, but you can have any of these cars if you want a different manufacturer logo for some reason. Alright, and then there's also, go back again, developer options. So we're in car settings. Now this goes a little deeper, and the password for this one is 7890. That's also universal. Okay. And this has a little more complicated stuff than the last password locked settings that we went into. So stay awake. I guess if you're on a long trip and you wanted the screen to turn off automatically, this would be a good thing to turn off, because then it would still play music and the screen would be off. The other way to turn off your screen is to hold this power button for a second and it goes into sleep mode, but the music that you're playing will stop. So yeah, so that might be a reason to use that. You can unlock the bootloader for rooting. Bunch of debugging stuff. Install applications. If there's an application you want to install that's not from the store, you can put it on your hard drive and install it. And just a bunch of stuff. I haven't used much from the developer settings. So yeah, a bunch of video related stuff. If you want your CPU or GPU to handle certain things, you can tweak that. Alright, so that should cover everything for the settings. Overall, my general consensus is, if you're asking whether this head unit is worth it, I mean, if you're coming from a Honda Civic LX Coupe or sedan, I think hands down this head unit is worth it. The sound quality, number one, the sound quality is at least as good as the LX head unit. The price, $325 shipped. The functionality, I mean, the customization, it's just you're not losing anything. It's not like you're giving up steering wheel controls or reverse camera. And I was able to tweak everything so that it worked correctly, and I'm just really happy with it. I think it looks great. It goes great with the head unit. I'm sorry, the center console. So yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. It's not perfect by any means, but I definitely recommend it. Yeah, if you have any questions though, just leave it in the comments. Otherwise, I am actually going to record another video with my tablet of me using the mirror link on my phone, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is kind of show off what I think it's called Easy Connect. Yeah, what the Easy Connect app does on this head unit here. So you open up the app, and keep in mind this is with an iPhone. So we're using an iPhone to connect to an Android head unit. Alright, so whenever you open the app, it'll connect. You have to have your Wi-Fi activated. If you have an Android device, you can use USB to do this, but with iPhone you have to use Wi-Fi. Alright, so now it's telling you Once it connects to the iPhone, it's going to say open AirPlay. So you go on your mobile device here, and let's see if I can make it focus better. Sorry, this tablet's really not that great for recording. Okay, let's see if we can. There we go. So you're going to go to AirPlay mirroring, right? And then you select EC Mirror FV. You tap that, and there we go. Alright, so that's what it looks like whenever you're in portrait mode. Kind of getting closer there. I mean, it looks okay. It's nothing great. It's definitely usable though, and you can play music from this. Because of copyright issues, I'm not going to do it for YouTube, but you can play music, and it sounds better. It sounds better than Bluetooth because you're going over Wi-Fi here. So if you want to stream music from your phone, I recommend that you do it through this. I recommend you use the Wi-Fi. The one downside, if you're going to stream music through your phone to the Easy Connect, is that you can't use the steering wheel controls to go through songs. You can still adjust the volume and everything else will work, but you can't hit next and go through songs, at least with the iPhone. You have to do it on the screen or on your phone. So let's just bring up Google Maps. I'll show you what it's like in portrait mode or in landscape. Alright, so if you want to use Google Maps on your phone and you don't want to bother with tethering, I mean, it's a good option. I recommend just tethering, so your head unit automatically connects to your cell phone, and you can just open Google Maps and go from there. But, this is another option you can use. So, yep, so that's Easy Connect. It's nothing special in my opinion, but it's nice that they offer it, and I'm pretty happy that it works with the iPhone. So if you have any questions about that, just leave it in the comments. Okay, so this is another video showing how the lanewatch works with this head unit. If you have an LX, the unit comes with lanewatch activated, so if you use the right turn signal, it'll actually try to switch the lanewatch camera, and I'll show you how to turn it on in the settings. It comes turned on with the unit. You have to deactivate it if you want, but you go to the car settings app, you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see it says right camera select. You actually want to deselect that if you have an LX. If you have a higher trim and you want to use lanewatch, you select that, and then when you use the right turn signal, you can see it goes to no video signal since I have an LX, but there is the input in the back of this. The lanewatch camera plugs right into there, so it's pretty nice. And I'll show you once I deactivate it in the car settings. So go down, deactivate it, back out, and now when I use the turn signal, it doesn't pop up. So if you have an LX, you want to turn that off, obviously, because it gets really annoying. It stops the music, is the other thing. So if you use the right turn signal when you have lanewatch activated on this unit, it'll mute your music. It also the unit comes stock with that activated for reverse cam. So if you use the rear view camera when you're backing up, it'll also mute music, but you can turn that off in the settings. I haven't found that option for the lanewatch camera though. So just a heads up, if you plan on using lanewatch, most likely you're going to have to deal with your music going mute every time you use the right turn signal. Unless there's a setting that I just haven't found yet. But if I do find that setting, I'll update you guys.